I know how to hustle.
Damn, Renzo. You raised the boss.
And Diana does show her how to hustle, even though she's got a long way to go. She's shown us she's got all the attributes to be the Tejada's next queen. But it wasn't Lorenzo who raised Diana to be a boss, it was Monet. And this is the reason why both of them have very similar traits, which comes from Monet treating Diana differently to both Drew and Kane in season 1. Even though Monet loves all her kids, and proves she'll do anything to protect them, control plays a huge part, but ultimately she knows in this world, when you're alone, you need to be tough, and you also need to be ready to kill. So throughout season 1 and 2, we saw Monet mentoring Diana how to be a boss, how to control men, and how to piece together a gun, and so much more. But this control that Monet had over her kids throughout season 1 began to fade when she started to work with Tariq, and it started with Kane. So she was left with no choice but to show this act of strength and consequence if you go against her rules. So what she did was throw Kane out of the family organization and effectively replacing him with Tariq. Now throwing him out of the family house was because of his betrayal, but also to keep Drew and Diana in line. But it only worked for a brief period. So as usual, to set the foundation, we're gonna rewind it back to season 1 and look at how Diana showed us all the smarts, the foreshadows of how she went from family first to going behind Monet's back, but also how she learned from Monet and why she could potentially be the most dangerous Tejada. Now, we were introduced to Diana in the very first episode where she was introduced to Tariq through Zeke, and instantly we knew this was going to be the start of a close relationship, especially with the way Diana immediately opened up to him about why Lorenzo was inside. But we quickly saw how Monet had a specific position for Diana, and a complete different one compared to Drew and Kane. She wanted to nurture her and mentor her to be the brains of the Tejada organization.
Did you see the way he was looking at you? That look means you have power over him. And I want you to be able to see what these signs are. You gotta use any tool at your disposal.
And this was Monet who created a path for Diana until she decided to create her own in season 2, which we're gonna get to in just a moment. But Monet was testing Diana at different stages and training her to be the brains, and effectively showing us how she was a lot more invested in Diana than she was with Drew or Kane.
Diana, what's the next move? What you think?
I think you should find out exactly how Tariq moves weight at the school.
And Monet wasn't asking Drew or Kane, she was asking Diana what move shall they make next, and later she was mentoring Diana again, this time telling her there's a method in becoming a savage in the game, and she was teaching her how to control men and level the playing field in a man's world. But in contrast, Lorenzo mentioned how Monet was too attached to Diana, which is the reason why she couldn't be the leader of the Tejada organization. But both Monet and Lorenzo had different ideas of how to run the business, which is why it was always a complex situation within the Tejadas, especially with Lorenzo being inside prison, but still calling the shots. And then there was Monet who wanted to do things her way. And Diana was on the same wavelength as Monet, at least in season 1 anyway, where she did do as she was told for the most part. For example, getting the information about Tariq, how he was moving weight at Stansfield, asking the right questions, and even questioning Monet, what if you're wrong about people? And it is important to remember this because Diana does ask a lot of right questions when it comes to situations, for example when it came to Kane's powdered sugar move in season 2. But slowly we started to see Monet lose control and a glimpse of how Diana was willing to go behind Monet's back when she went to Lorenzo about going to school and making the move with Tariq. So we saw Monet trying to get Diana back in line, because both Drew and Diana had been spending way too much time up at Stansfield, but Diana knew how to move and she showed it when she got Drew to come back, and also giving the information to Monet about Tariq using course correct, showing she was family first, because Monet could have shut Tariq down if she didn't like the way he was doing business, but she did, because it was low key and it worked well for the Tejadas as well as Tariq. But where we talk about family first, she also stood up and played her position when Kane was AWOL. She was the one who got Kane to come back to the family to the re-up, and she was the mediator between Kane and Monet. Although she wasn't to blame for Kane not turning up, she did her part and she did as she promised. Now, when it came to Diana and Tariq, you could tell very early on she was attracted to him, because a lot of girls are when it comes to guys who are mysterious, and sometimes this is what draws attention because they want to know more behind the man and the mystery. But this was complicated because Monet told Diana she didn't want her anywhere near Tariq, because anybody who gets close to Tariq St. Patrick either ended up dead or in jail, and she wasn't wrong either. But this was another foreshadow of Diana shifting and going behind Monet's back. So as we established, Diana was someone who'd been mentored and nurtured by Monet, someone who likes control. And in essence, this is what Season 2 was, this battle for control and power within the Tejadas. But Season 2 was where we really started to see Diana make her own moves, because she could see Monet wasn't quite the same after what happened with Rico. So in the very first episode, she questioned Monet with how paranoid she became, because she was thinking about the blowback from killing Rico. And we all know she wasn't afraid to question Monet's decision making from Season 1. There was also this shift with Diana calling Monet by her name to her face. And you'll notice all throughout the first 2 seasons, we had the kids call Monet by her name, but only to each other, but now it was directly to her face. So along with making her own moves with approaching Effie to teach her the game, hustle, and be at school at the same time, she was looking at the bigger picture. Monet was losing control because of a distraction, which was Mecha. So we saw Diana using everything she learned from Monet and Effie to play the perfect courtier, which was the Law 24 from the 48 Laws of Power. She manipulated the truth to get Tariq to owe her a favor and put her in contact with Davis McLean, and taking it one step further by going behind Monet's back by cleverly helping Lorenzo be released from prison, even if it meant an innocent party being killed in the process. She was doing what she thought was best for the family, but also for herself. Although in the end it didn't quite work out for Diana as she hoped, because she wanted to hustle, go to school, but more importantly she wanted to go to Stansfield to be closer to Tariq. But instead, they sent Diana to St. John's, with Monet warning her don't think she's smarter than her, but Diana was proven to be more like Monet whether she intended to or not.
But I might make it a you problem if I tell Monet you're the one who sugared the coke.
You acting just like Monet, thinking you know shit, putting under pressure with fake news.
So Kane recognized it, and now it was there for all of us to see on what we saw from Season 1 and as we started to go through Season 2. And Diana was smart. She knew very well from day one they couldn't trust Kane when she sussed out he was behind the powdered sugar move. But she found out more than just about Kane's powdered sugar move. She started to uncover the truth behind Nene, Mecha, and Zeke by asking the right questions to Zeke. So like mother like daughter, how Monet was going through Diana's things to find her secrets, Diana was in Monet's room doing the same, and she found out the biggest secret of them all, which was Zeke being Monet's son. So we saw her blow up the whole family with her actions at the dinner table, which really did create more bad blood between Monet and Diana, and ultimately her relationship with Monet will never be the same, because we saw her mother threaten to kill her daughter not once, but twice. But just like how Tariq told Ghost, "I'm you, Dad," and how he's proven to be a reflection of Ghost, Diana is becoming a reflection of Monet, which is why she's becoming dangerous. And let's not get it twisted, there is still so much room for her to grow and develop. So as we move into Season 3, what's next for Diana? Because some relationships will never be the same, whether it be with Monet, Tariq, or Effie for different reasons. Will she also be someone who sides with Lorenzo? Because you can guarantee Lorenzo and Monet will be at odds if the truth is revealed about Zeke. And I really wouldn't put it past Diana to be the one to find out the real truth behind his death. Will she get her first kill? And what happens next with her relationship with Tariq? Because he now knows she used him to get his product back. But she could also be very useful to Tariq like Tasha was for Ghost, because Tasha and Diana have this thing for numbers and studying accountancy. So there is a lot to consider when it comes to Diana, but that's a breakdown of how she's developing into being one of the most dangerous Tejadas, with the potential to be the most dangerous Tejada, in my opinion. So drop all your thoughts down below on what's next for Diana in Season 3, and of course if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 2 Ghost and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.